You know, you look at the animal kingdom, as much as we can see, the stronger will always win. You see these in National Geographic, you see these humongous mountain goats. You know, all the ladies, I may call them ladies, but all the female, they were standing there, and these two goats, other male goats, they're watching this huge, right? They go back and bam, they run toward each other and they clash their head. You may think, oh my God, this could explode the front of a car with that much force. Just slow down that video in your mind. And while they're doing it, what are they thinking? What is their instinct? How did the whole thing started? It looked like they had to prove something to them, all the other males that they were standing there and all other females there, to pick me. I'm the strongest one. It's not just the strength they were trying to show off. They wanted to prove something by instinct. Then fast forward that, come to us. You and I. What do we have to prove? We may say many things, you know, I have to prove to myself I am this and that. And if you're a spiritual person, you have to prove to yourself that you're a great spiritual person, right? If a businessman or woman, you have to prove that we are very good business people. Mother or father, I have to prove to myself and to spouse and to other people around me and to children and even to God. I have to prove something that I'm a good parent. Why? Why so much pressure to prove anything? Some of you, maybe you're listening and that's not your problem, but it is mine. Almost there is this anxiety inside us to prove something. In my relationship with the Lord, last 23 years after Jesus walked in my heart, He really started to teach me that I don't have to prove anything to His Father or to Him, nor to Holy Spirit. I don't have to. Again, let's go back to the story of prodigal son and the other brother, so-called good brother. The other faithful brother, so-called faithful, he was trying, the way I see this story, he was trying to prove to himself and to his father, he's a good son. The other son didn't really care. He was a party boy. He wanted to go spend money. He went back, and now, after losing all the money, he realized that, oh my God, I have nothing else to prove. Look at me. I stink. Those days, they didn't have showers that you could jump into the shower as a slave, or someone that had a very low-level job. I cannot imagine the filth that he was in and how much he smelled horrible. The smell that was coming out of him, it was almost unbelievable, right? I'm just picturing it. Eating with the pigs, sleeping with the pigs. When you look at yourself, of course, inside he was just being purified, but outside, he didn't have anything to prove to his father, his brother, himself, or other people. I'm sure he was beyond disappointment, right? Nothing to prove. Why? Because you can smell it. How many of us, the smell of our life the way we live, or the lack of accomplishment, it's to a degree that we would say, oh my God, I am so far behind everybody and I have nothing to prove to anybody, to God, to myself, or to society, to neighbors, to church, to heaven and to earth. Like a homeless person that they have nothing to prove, right? That was the prodigal son. He had nothing to prove. But the other brother that was so-called faithful, he was trying to prove to his father and to himself and to the surroundings and to the neighbors and the society, look at me, I am so faithful. Just like the Pharisees, trying to prove, right? I'm not judging him, but we are just kind of looking at their inner situation, which really matters. Do you remember what Jesus said? What goes inside you will not make you unclean. What comes outside, what comes from within you, make you unclean. The brother that was looking around and seeing all these pigs making those noises, eating the way they do, and the smell, of course he had nothing to prove, just like Job. Before the affliction, of course he had so many things to prove to himself and to God and society that what an amazing man. Even Bible called him a righteous man, right? He's proving to everything. But then, fast forward, after his affliction, he had nothing to show, meaning he had nothing to prove. I'm going somewhere. We don't need to really rush to get to the point. Let's just travel with this. Right? We could start to see ourselves in this story. Jesus told many parables. We keep hearing it. We slow down until you see yourself in that parable. Otherwise, this is a story about people's lives. The power comes, the freedom comes when I and you, we see ourselves in that parable. We are not watching a movie anymore. We are becoming one of the people in the movie. That's why I'm just keep talking about the prodigal son and the pig and the brother and Job until something through the power of Holy Spirit clicks in me and you. The way I see it, it appears that when we hit bottom, when we have nothing to prove, there is no human strength in us anymore, or even a spiritual strength of our own in us, then we are really ready to hear the Father would say, this is my beloved Son. This is my beloved daughter in whom I am well pleased. You will say, what? You told this to perfect Jesus. You're telling me this? Do you remember the thief on the cross? He said, Jesus, remember me. Jesus looked at him and said, you will be with me in paradise. Meaning, through my work, my Father, when he sees you, he's going to be so pleased with you. You just wait, because you're at the bottom now. He has surprises for you. Another example, the tax collector. Another example, Mary the prostitute. We think, oh, they were sinners, Jesus forgave their sin. No, he didn't just forgive our sin. Through him, through his work, and in him, Father will look at you and me without us even proving anything to him. He will say, I am so well pleased with you. Let's go back to the story of the prodigal son. He goes back, and what he realized, it shocked him. I previously shared that he got his inheritance. What was his inheritance when the Father saw him? The approval of the Father. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. See, we all know we live in Jesus. We have our being through Jesus. Jesus made the sacrifice. Through his righteousness, we are righteous. But I kind of never realized that in him, the Lord, the Father, looks at me and you and says, this is my beloved Son. Not only my beloved Son, but in whom I am well pleased. That part, we know, most of us as a believer, that God loves us. But the other part has not touched us, and we didn't get the revelation that the Father would say, not only I love you, but in you I am so well pleased. Because we didn't get that revelation yet, we try to prove ourselves to God, to ourselves, to society, to nature, to everybody. My prayer for myself and for you guys is, and for the body of Christ, and for humanity. That's the only way that peace would come on earth. We will live with peace with one another, in peace, that we know that we have nothing to prove, because we have been approved, and Father is pleased with us. My prayer is, Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, as you have opened our eyes to realize to a degree that we are loved by you, now to the same degree, allow us to see that you are pleased with us and we do not have to prove anything to you, to ourselves, and to surrounding anymore. Set us free as we are free in Christ, through the knowledge and the knowing and the understanding and the encounter of this sentence. When the Father said, this is my beloved Son and daughter, in whom I am well pleased. Well pleased, well pleased. That felt really, really good. That was the knowledge. Hopefully the knowing will come to me and you and will touch us. Then we could forever retire from proving anything anymore. Done with proving. You can say, I am his beloved son. I am his beloved daughter. In me, he is so well pleased. That's it.